I thought this week's video was going to be my July garden tour. A garden club was coming to visit, my garden was looking incredible, and then the smog arrived. Within hours, the sky looked completely different, the sun turned orange, and the whole garden felt like it had been transported into nighttime. Before next week's full garden tour, I wanted to show you what happened. Hi everyone, it's Tim. Welcome back to my channel. It is a beautiful, hot morning. We are in a heat wave again here in New York in the United States. So yeah, the tropical garden is going crazy right now as the bugs are flying around me here. I've got my morning coffee and today is a full garden tour, which of course is showing you everything, but I'm also going to interject things that I see and is going on. There's a few little catastrophes as always, but most important today, there is a group of people coming to see my garden. And last year, I think I had one and I was telling everyone how panicked I am. And this one I'm a little panicked about as well because it is a very exclusive garden club that's coming. And I don't know the people, and that means there is a likelihood that some of them frown upon tropical gardens. And I don't know if any of you have experienced that. Since you're watching this video, you've obviously just seen me for the first time. You're like, who's this crazy guy in New York with all these tropicals? Or you've been watching me a long time. But if you don't know it, there is a large group of people that don't agree with tropical gardening unless you live in the tropics. So I don't know if these are those people. I'm sure they will be very nice, but I don't know if they're going to be walking through the garden going, oh, this is so unusual. You know, like I haven't seen a garden like this in a long time, and I hope I don't see another one. So I don't know. Maybe they're going to be lovely. Maybe they're going to be a lot of fun. You just never know when you are showing your garden. And I would love to hear some of you who've had big garden tours like this. Tell me what you think. Have you had good experiences? Have you had bad experiences? I've had both. I wouldn't say bad experiences. I've had really good experiences with people coming to see the garden. And I've had a few people just kind of go, this is too much work, or I don't like it, or why aren't you planting native plants? And this is just strange in New York to have this. So you don't know. But I digress on that. We will see. I will give full feedback on what is going to happen today. I am a little nervous. I've got a lot to do because it's so funny. You look at your garden and you're like, oh, it looks great right now. I'm so happy with it. And then all of a sudden you think, wait, strangers are coming through my garden. And then all of a sudden you start seeing things like, oh, those are a lot of weeds. And oh, I haven't deadheaded that. And oh, what's this? And what's that? And yeah, and that's where I am this morning. So I've got a few hours. They're coming at 10:30 a.m., which sounds really nice. It sounded nice at the time, but it's going to be almost 100 degrees, which is in the high 30s, I think, Celsius at that time. So they're going to be very hot. We'll see how long they stay, and I'm going to report back. I also have to show you some plants going on, what's happening here, and the usual Tim stuff in the garden. So let's just jump right into it. The carnage that goes on before a garden tour. I am literally cutting out things, deadheading things, moving things around. I just want this garden to look presentable. And of course, while I'm doing it, I have to look at the St. John's wort up here that is just full of bees. It's so pretty. I need more of these. I can't even remember when I got this one. I actually had to ask someone what it was. And my night jasmine up on my deck is going to bloom, and I'm hoping with all this hot weather at night, it smells wonderful. But yeah, just going down to the garden this morning just to make sure everything looks good. I still have more things to do. I have some time before they get here, so I've got to weed this cactus garden. It looks horrible right now. I hate weeding it. Hate weeding the cactus garden. That is the one thing. It's so hard to do, and I have to suit up. I have on my bee suit. I have on latex gloves. And I'm going to go in. I am not taking everything, but if you look here, it looks a whole lot better. I spent probably 45 minutes in there pulling things out, but I did find some baby lavender that I'm going to put in a pot. I love seeing ships go by from the window in my bedroom or on the patio. Either way, it's just nice to see big ships on the Hudson River. Just had to throw that one in there in between gardening right now. Last week I had my Hans macaw. This week you're watching my Amazon parrot doing her mating dance. She definitely thinks I am her mate, and she's trying to wow me with this fabulous forbidden dance. She's so crazy, but you know, she had a really hard life before I rescued her, so she's living the good life now, even if I'm not the best soulmate for her. A little fountain repair and cleaning. The pump went out. Of course, the pump goes out right before a garden tour, and luckily I had another one, so I've got to set that up. And it's heavy. It's always something in the garden. And my pomegranates. I keep forgetting to show. This is the hardy pomegranate. I definitely have fruit. It started so late this year. Late to get leaves, late to bloom. My tropical pomegranate it bloomed, but no fruit on it, unfortunately. But there's still a few flowers on there. I am out on my deck, and I got some plants from Grown in Homes and from Florida. I saw this advertised on Instagram, and basically what I bought is some really fun sugar cane, and pulling it all out, and I thought this would be something fun to try, because I've always wanted to grow sugar cane. And here all this but little ones there. So that's what I've got, and I've got a code to scan and look up on how to do this. So that's what I am doing out on my deck. It is so hot, and I'm loving it out here right now. Beautiful day. So what I really like about this is that they had a YouTube video explaining what to do. So when you click on the link there, or scan the code, it brought up a YouTube video on how to plant this. So very easy, and I'm excited to have this as the boats are out on the Hudson. Still weeding, still trying to make this place look attractive. I think the cactus garden looks good now, so I'm okay with that. But in that agave in there looks really good. I didn't realize how much it grew until I got the weeds out. That's always the case. Remove the weeds, you might discover something that you actually like in your garden. And then as the time nears, I just kind of have to accept the garden is what it is. So we will see. But suddenly, Smog. Everyone on the tour was so nice, but Smog from the Canadian wildfires. It was hot and smoky and smoggy. Ugh. The poor tour was so gracious and they were so nice, but the visibility just went down to almost nothing. You can't even see the mountains across the river. It smells like smoke. And now later in the day, it looks like it's evening and it's just the middle of the afternoon. It's just so crazy how dark it got. Normally you can see everything across the river, the mountains, the bridge, cars on the bridge. But yeah, the visibility just went down so quickly. And the sun, right now you can see it. It went away. It just went away and got darker and darker out here. It's just such a bizarre day, not what I was expecting. And unfortunately, it's staying through the next couple of days. As I said earlier in my video, my plan was this to be the July garden tour, but it is ugly. It is ugly out. I am not going to do the full garden tour today. We're going to look at some things, but I'm going to save the full garden tour to next week when hopefully the weather is better and you can actually see things. And we're being told to not even stay outside right now because it's like smoking a pack of cigarettes. But I am going to show you some things. So night blooming jasmine is blooming even more. And if you don't have this plant, it's fairly easy to overwinter. You need to keep it warm in the winter. It does not like being cold. So coming through my rickety gate, normally you would see blue sky and all the plants, and I would try to film it at a time when the light's hitting just right. But no, this looks like really drab. As drab as my poor Bismarck palm is right there. It's struggling a little bit. They're really hard to keep. I've got some new growth on it though. And I love these berries on the honeysuckle right now. It's really pretty. But yeah, this is all cleaned up for the garden tour. And even my Robellini there is struggling a little bit. It's not struggling right now. It's still struggling from the cold. It got hit pretty bad this winter, but I've got new growth. And I just want to point out the alocasia is blooming here. And I mentioned this last week, but I think this heat is causing it to go into even more bloom than usual, which I really like. And then to point out, some of this alocasia, I trimmed off the leaves and it had none. And so the leaves have grown back, but it's July. It's taken them this long to get there. So if you can overwinter them with the leaves, you're much better off. And this is that bizarre one where the leaves are coming out of the side of the tuber or the stalk on there, which I think is pretty interesting. But yeah, most of these I overwintered with leaves, which is a little bit of a pain because pests tend to get them even in the garage, but then your result is you have instant garden out here. This is the hardy, the non-hardy pomegranate that is just bushed out like crazy, but no fruit on this one, unfortunately. But I love how it looks right now. The pond is doing great. Fish are happy. My water lilies are blooming. And I can't really point it out, but if you look in here where there's just solid green, there's two sets of lotus plantings that I grew from seed from watching someone on Instagram who was doing it. So I'm hoping maybe I will get flowers. Maybe it's a little late. Chilean wine palm looking as good as it can, and all this smog back there because normally it's such a great view from right here. And the ponderosa lemon is nice and big. And then I noticed, it will get much bigger than that. Much, much bigger. I noticed there are flowers on the ponderosa lemon. So even though it has fruit, it is flowering late in the season. Don't know why, but I'm happy that it is. And this one I kept outside all winter long with protection. Going down the side path to the caboose, my friend Andy Bell, gave me cup flowers a couple of years ago, and they are just spectacular. They're like a beautiful sunflower with a really interesting leaf. First year they really did nothing, and now they look pretty spectacular over here. So thank you, Andy, for these. I really like them. Andy's giving me many plants, but this is one of my favorites in the garden right now, in the Smog. And I think they're just a really pretty flower too. And it's spreading, but not spreading in a bad way. So when I say spreading, I don't want you to panic about this one. This one is a nice even spread. The butterfly bush is blooming all over my garden, and it is a little, so speaking of spreading, this one is considered invasive. It is spreading around on my hill. I really don't mind on my hill though. And then my phlox is blooming, and those of you know about flowers, I like white flowers and tropical. So, and that canna is starting to bloom, and things are looking somewhat good flower-wise in the Smog. I just don't think the tropicals. This bird is crazy. I just don't think the tropicals look that good under the Smog. The tropicals with all the green, they need some nice sunlight to show them off. But here, these daisies, that looks really pretty, I think. Some of the black-eyed Susans. And my little Washingtonia robusta back in there, and some of my tropical bananas up against my pool shed. And I realize it's a little bit of a short video today, so I apologize. But here you can see the sun is starting to come through, and you can see the Smog up on the hill beyond my house, which almost makes it look like there's this lovely mist coming through, but not really. Just smells really, really smoky out here in the garden. But at least there is some sun. But yeah, I've got a ways to go until panning over here so you can see still no mountains. So I've got a ways to go. Maybe tomorrow will be better. So I sign off. Please like and subscribe. And next week, if the weather is good, I promise I'm doing a full garden tour. That is the promise. And let's hope no more smog for next week. Have a great week, everybody.